rustled through the box elders and cottonwoods. The second one finally returned with the note. With the paper pinned on their victim's shirt at last, the three rode off, leading the extra horse. Chapter 1. Thunder rumbled like a wagon load of loose potatoes over the house's roof. Herschel sat up in bed and listened above the rush of hard-hitting rain tearing at the house. Heck of a storm outside, but something else had wakened him. He turned an ear to listen. "What is it?" His wife, Marcia, bolted up beside him and swept the lock of stray hair back from her forehead. "Someone's downstairs at the front door shouting for me," he said, concerned, and threw the covers back. "What time is it?" she asked. He struck a match and checked his pocket watch. 3 a.m. With a shake of his head, he blew the match out and continued to dress in the darkness while she lit a lamp. Who in the world wanted him at this time of night? No telling. This was one of the drawbacks of being the sheriff. "Wonder who's down there," she said in a hushed voice. His wife of 6 months put on her robe. She was the light of his life, more than his new job, more than all his plans to bring equal justice to Montana. "I have no idea," he said, finished dressing, "but something must be bad wrong." The lightning flash filled the house's interior as he hurried down the steps to answer the persistent pounding on the front door. I'm coming." "Oh, Sheriff Baker," the shorter man said when Herschel opened the front door for him. "You got to do something. They murdered poor Billy Hanks." "Come in here, Cove. What's this about a murder?" Herschel used his shoulder to close the door behind the familiar rancher from north of Billings, and then went to light a lamp. Shaking the match out, he replaced the chimney and looked at the drenched man holding his sodden hat at his side. Puddles had begun to gather on Marcia's polished wood floor beneath the tail of Cove Tipton's canvas duster. "Evening, ma'am," Tipton said to Marcia, who was descending the staircase in her robe. "Sorry to bother you so late." "No problem, Cove," she said, and smiled at him. "There's been a murder," Herschel said to her when she reached the bottom of the stairs. She stopped and nodded calmly, but looked taken aback by the news. "Sorry to hear that. I'll make some coffee." "Good idea. We'll need some." "Give me your coat and hat," Herschel said to Tipton. "How was Hanks killed?" "He was hung." Tipton looked around to be certain they were alone. "Oh, Lord, Herschel, it was the worst thing I ever rode up on. Him twisting on that rope in the wind and all." "I'm sure it was tough. Was he still warm?" "What do you mean?" Tipton handed Herschel his duster and hat. "I mean, was his body still warm when you got there?" He hooked the coat and hat on the wall pegs. Though it knifed his conscience, there was nothing he could do about the water on Marcia's floor. "I don't remember," said Tipton. "That's fine. Any idea why someone would want to hang Billy?" He herded the balding man into the lighted kitchen. "No, I can't think of a soul. He was just a fun-loving cowboy." Herschel pulled out a chair at the table for Tipton and nodded to Marcia, who had finished stoking her range and was dipping water out of the reservoir to fill her granite pot. "Water's still hot. Shouldn't take much to get it boiling," she said. "Good. I'll watch it," Herschel said. "Better go see about the girls. They may be upset." She agreed with a nod and left them. "Did I do that?" Tipton started to get up, but Herschel waved him down. "They'll be fine. You need to start back at the beginning." Tipton swept his thin gray-streaked hair back with his hands and looked at the table as if he didn't know where to begin. "There was a dance last night up at the Sharkey schoolhouse. Afterward, I drove the widow, Mrs. Wynne, home in her buggy, and then I was riding my horse back to my place when I saw his body swinging there on a tree when the lightning struck close by." "Any trouble up there at the dance tonight?" "Oh, that big Swede Yarman got a little tipsy and loud. We sent him home early."